Oh, there's that song. It's like a cinema almost that we're here with you folks. Dan Schinder with
Steven Schinder.
on
Yesshift.
coming to you to talk about.
Tom Brislin. Well, so first off, we wanted to, since today's Tom Brislin's 50th birthday, give him like a good shout out and talk a bit about his contributions to music and prog. But
And even
there's also,
yes.
yeah, but there's also a bit of news that came out on his family's and online. I think it was yesterday, and so we want to like acknowledge that. So being respectful and celebrating uh, life, but also one's memory. So um, Tom Brislin's father, William Brislin, or Bill Brislin, as some know him, passed away on October 4th at the age of 92. Um, so, something that we saw in the obituary was that he was a lifelong lover of dancing and music and expressed it over the years by singing in stage bands for the troops while serving in the Philippines, going to Broadway musicals, enjoying Atlantic City dance halls, and attending numerous jazz, marching band, and rock concerts. He was a member of the New Jersey Jazz Society and longtime supporter of live music all over the state. As a boy, Bill was a Brooklyn Dodgers fan and later a loyal Mets fan. Combining his love of baseball with dancing, he found himself as a regular attendee at the Somerset Patriots games, dancing in the stands to the delight of fans, especially during the seventh inning stretch. He became a beloved fixture and was dubbed Dancing Bill, a role he thoroughly enjoyed. So, again, our hearts go out to Tom and to his family, and yeah, we just want to like honor his father in that way. We've never met him, but we've talked to Tom, and so it just felt like something that we really wanted to do. We gotta, we're so used to thinking of just the musicians that we follow, but of course they have families too, and we want to make sure that everyone gets acknowledged and remembered, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it also falls into a big part of our culture as a brand, Yesshift and Drum Talk TV, and us personally about humanizing people. As Steve said, we tend to put them on big pedestals and things, and a lot of entertainers are fine with that, and they only want you to see that. They don't want the peek behind the curtain. But in the last 15 years, with the advent of social media and things like that, older, more legendary entertainers have opened up and showed us that side of them, and newer, more contemporary entertainers, like Tom and whatnot, have have followed that same sort of path. So we felt it was the right thing to do and a good thing to do, and certainly what a beautiful influence Tom's father had on him.
Yeah.
As Tom is just a tremendous musician. The work he did with Meatloaf, the work he did on the Yes Symphonic tour, the work he did with Spiraling, the work he did with that he's doing with Kansas, and the list goes on and on. And in the world of music, he's a young man at 50. I'm a lot older than that, and it's nice to see him doing what he's doing, and now to know that there's a family connection there of influence as well, which is really heartwarming.
Yeah, and it's also a reminder that people who love music can also like sports. Like
Oh
we
yeah,
have very diverse interests. I'm not, as into sports as other people are, but everyone comes in different forms of interest, which is, it's nice to learn more about people.
yeah.
Um,
And
so
I did want to just mention, Steve, for those who might not know, because we have different level of Yes fans. We have people that stumble across this as it's being simulcast on Drum Talk TV or even right from our shows on Yes Shift's channels. that may not be familiar with Tom's connection with Yes. So for those who don't know, when they did the
Right.
symphonic tour, Rick Wakeman was not available, and Meatloaf and Yes shared the same management. I know that sounds weird. We tend to stereotype stuff, right? And
Right.
Tom was able to be easily, I don't even want to say shoehorned in because that implies that maybe it wasn't quite a fit, but certainly a fit. Great musician, did an awesome job on the tour. I saw it at the Hollywood Bowl. The DVD is one of my favorite Yes products, actually.
Yeah.
So what a body of music he's learned, even just between Meatloaf's Kansas's legacy, and Yes's legacy.
Yeah, I get what you mean.
Yeah, sorry, I stumbled a little there, but
But yeah,
tremendous musician and great guy. He was wonderful on the show with us.
like you said, the Symphonic Live DVD showcases some of what he's done, and even if you see other clips from that tour, you see how into it he is. Even like in the percussion session of Ritual, um, and
Yeah.
you know when you watched him on that tour, would you ever have guessed that he would have become like an official member of Kansas like years
Right.
later?
That was like, wow. And I want to mention, since you brought up a little bit more about that DVD and that tour, he's the one that inspired Steve Howe to agree to, hey, let's do Owner of a Lonely Heart.
Yeah.
That's such a neat story, and it was well
Yeah,
received, of course.
compromised by doing the Trevor guitar part
Right.
on his keyboard. Yeah.
Yeah, really cool stuff. And let's show a short clip of Tom playing some Yes that was not part of that tour. And this is with sitting in with old Ben Spiraling. Check this out. Many of you, I almost said should, ought to know this. We'll put it that way. Here we go. Sing along if you know this. Just that's a nice teaser. They're
Yeah.
effing nailing it. I know
Yeah.
that song inside out, as many us fans do, backwards, forward, sideways,
Yeah.
diagonal. The
Inside out
drummer,
music, one might say.
yeah, the drummer is crushing it, beat for beat, note for note, on a four-piece kit as well. Just amazing, and I love how Tom's got all of Pat's sounds loaded for the little, all those little nuances. That's what makes honoring a song perfect, is when you get those little things and the squeaks on the guitar that the other dude was doing. Just such a great job.
Yeah, and I think a while ago, we've talked about this, and I think we also talked about when he played South Side of the Sky with the Band Geeks, and now
Oh
the Band
yeah.
Geeks are touring with John Anderson, and Tom Brislin was also on the Anderson Stolt album. And when we had Royna Stolt on our show, we talked about like reinstating a Tom Brislin solo that wasn't on the original onto the recent remix
Yeah.
re-release. So like
A neat
I
little
yeah.
ecosystem of relationships there.
Yeah, so he's definitely become part of the Prague family over the years. He played with Renaissance. Earlier, I watched this really cool solo that he did during the song "Ashes Are Burning" when he
Oh,
was playing with
okay.
Renaissance, and he's played with a couple people from Styx. He's the Sin Camel, I believe, as well, and uh
Wow, that's quite quite
the
a
sea
pedigree.
within, that was a thing too. Yeah, so quite an impressive resume.
Yeah, let's show a little clip of what he's up to now with Kansas. It's pretty
Yeah.
short, but it's is really great. Check this out. That's like just enough to make everyone go look it up.
No, yeah, like
The-
when I've talked on the show about when I saw Kansas a couple weeks ago, and they were tied to, like, everyone was so into it and energetic, and Tom's no exception. He would play with ease, and also he does backing vocals on some things as well. Even on Kansas, their most recent album, The Absence of Presence, Tom co-wrote most of the songs on there, like even the lyrics. And on the closing track of that album, um, that's if the riff. Um, I'm kind of blanking on the
that
title,
album, by
but
the way, folks, if you have not heard it, is probably, in my opinion, their most proggy album since the '70s, since the early days. It's very proggy. It's
mm,
great. It's really good.
yeah. So the song "The River" sang, I thought
Mm.
was, I couldn't remember if it was past tense, but yeah, he sang lead on that, and what a way to getting the new guy to sing lead on the closing track of the album. That's quite an honor.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
yeah, and I still need to make my way through the entire Kansas discography, but out of the first few classic albums I've listened to, plus this newer one, like, this one's definitely my favorite, and I think that says a lot.
Definitely, yeah, yeah. It's a great album, great performance by everybody, and Tom's style definitely fits, which is great.
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, again, wishing Tom as well as his family well, and looking forward to seeing what else he's up to in the future, and Kansas as well. Was there anything else you wanted to touch on?
No, the only other thing is, like you said, staying in touch with what he's up to, and I'd love to get some solo work from him and see
Yeah, some more
a
of that.
deeper peek behind the curtain of his musical sensibilities
Yeah,
without having to. And when I say conform, I mean, without the team sort of dynamic, but just it's just me, and this is what I'm doing. I'd
yeah,
love to get
because
that from him.
as far as a full solo album goes, we talked about "Hurry Up and Smell the Roses," but that's like back in 2012, I believe. So it's been quite a while.
Yeah.
And it'd be cool to see him do another full solo album. I mean, we've seen other musicians like come back to that even after a long period of time. But again, you know, whatever he desires to do next.
Yeah, very cool that he turns 50 on the 50th anniversary tour of Kansas, a band that
Yeah,
he grew up with. That's really neat.
yeah, it's a nice little parallel there.
Yeah. Cool. Thanks everybody for joining us for this Tom Brislin episode. We've got a lot more stuff planned to wind down the year with, go out with a bang. And you can write us with suggestions or questions at yesshiftpodcast at gmail.com. Depending on where you're seeing us or following us, I'll kind of let you know other places in case you want to check those platforms out. If you're into audio only podcasts, we're at anchor.fm/Yesshift. We're on YouTube. Yesshift. Sorry, YouTube /at Yesshift and Facebook.com/Yesshift. I haven't gotten a lot of sleep lately, and my doggy bounced up and hit my jaw, and I bit the side of my tongue real hard earlier today. I'm still getting my lingo mechanisms back together. I should have just let Steve do all that.
Yeah, but yeah, thanks for that. And I'm glad we were able to make time for this. And like you said, there's other stuff coming up, but yeah, just look at our posts and you'll be in the know. So thanks for tuning in.
Absolutely. Thanks, everybody. We will see you again very soon.